Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecca Warehouse, and today we're back with weekly update number 151. So we're going to jump right into it and kick things off with week in review. This is where we talk about what's been going on in the warehouse, things that are coming up, stuff like that. First up, this has been our first week so far, post Dylan, I guess. AD after Dylan. We'll just all dates going forward. Our AD at this point. It's been going okay so far, definitely acclimating to not having Dylan around. That's, he's been on vacation before, so it's not anything new, but just trying to get into a rhythm where that works, on a prolonged basis and not short term. Definitely feeling a little bit with a crunch, especially in the mornings, trying to print off orders, get things ready to go, take care of my own stuff, meetings and orders and all the other stuff that I do. But for the most part, everything seems to be going relatively smooth considering the change in situation. Hopefully it will get better gradually with time, just as we figure things out and get kind of a rhythm going. Next up, pre-orders. I spoke last week about our new pre-order system. I think the response so far has been fairly positive. The idea of being able to do a deposit as well as the discount kind of helps a lot. I think we've been seeing an increase in pre-orders on some of the newer pre-orders. Maybe it's hard to say because we're not offering the same items before and after or at the same time. So it's hard to kind of tell if it's really making a difference or if the pre-orders we've posted most recently are just more popular. We have posted some other cool new pre-orders recently though that are worth checking out. I'm not going to list them off in the video today, but I definitely would take a look. We also had a bunch of new early birds, and early birds I don't think I mentioned last week, and I think we might even have to revise our policy a little bit to cover early birds to avoid any confusion. Early birds we're treating kind of like the old school pre-orders, so you can add them to orders with other items because they're expected to arrive within the next 1 to 2 weeks depending on when they ship and the whole where they're shipping from and things like that. We also don't do the deposit thing on them because they are shipping. They're basically starting at the point where we would be sending out the email to collect the deposit for our regular pre-orders. So we got a bunch of that stuff coming. We had we ended up posting, I think it was Friday afternoon or at least late morning, we had the mega size and PG Strike Freedom go up. And then we've got a few others this week, the Forbidden and 2 others I can't remember off the top of my head. I think the mega size already sold out those early birds. I think we have another batch coming at some point though. But all that stuff's on the way, should probably arrive early next week. So it might be a good chance to secure yours before they get here, avoid the restock rush, things like that. The inventory reduction sale is still on. The collection will be changing sometime today, Thursday. We've got another set of a couple things to add and another handful or 2 of things to remove from the sale, that the inventory levels have fallen back down into what we would consider a normal range. So keep an eye out for that. Keep in mind also that we're going to be changing that collection on a regular basis. So we're hoping it will gradually shrink as more and more items fall back into normal inventory levels. So if there's anything you like in that sale collection, ordering it now versus later makes sense because it might not be there in the future, especially if it's a popular item or something that's been traditionally harder to get in the past. A lot of those things might not stay on there very long. I know there are some really nice items that are in the list of things that we'll be removing, I think. So just keep that in mind as well. We have a pretty small restock today. I'm not going to list off what those items are either. So we're going to do a 10% off all in-stock items sale this weekend. The code is SEPT10, SEPT10, for 10% off all in-stock items. That goes until midnight on Sunday. You can use that in the same order as the inventory reduction code, so you can get your 30% off the items that count for that and 10% off everything else. Definitely worth taking advantage of, and again, that applies only to in-stock items. Next up, let's do team picks. This is where members of the team show off a build they've built recently. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Chad. For this week's show and tell, I brought in the Live Lance Heaven, or Live Lance Heaven if that's how you want to pronounce it. It is one of my favorite kits from that Battle Log line. I am a sucker for the Death Scythe Hell, and this kit is basically the holy version of the Death Scythe Hell. It comes with metallic injection gold for some of the inner frame, and for a kit that I was like super excited about, I wanted to give it a little bit extra touch, and so I used Gundam Moniker EX white gold and yellow gold to touch up some of those gold pieces. I think it really pops out on the inner frame, so giving it a little bit more love could definitely make it a standout piece. I am still getting new with painting, so there are some hiccups here or there, but I had a fantastic time with this kit. It's one of my personal favorites. I would recommend it.
All right, so that was it for team picks. Let's move on to Q&A. So this is where I answer questions from you, the viewers. If you have a question you want answered, post it down in the comments below. We got a decent set of questions this week. I like lots of questions if possible, so feel free, ask away, and we'll try to answer it next week. First up, from Plastic Germs, question: which Gundam universe would you like to see Bandai produce more Gunpla of? Also, what mobile suits would you like to see turn into Gunpla that haven't yet? So my standard answer, I think this would be Gundam Wing. I really want to see at least high grades of a lot of the Wing grunt suits that haven't been yet. They've got the Leo and the Maganak, both are great. I'd love to see like an Ares and a Virgo and a Taurus. I think some of those might have had kits way back, 20, 30 years ago or something. I'm not sure exactly when they're made, maybe early to late 90s maybe, but a lot of them have been printed, and it'd be good to see modern kits of those grunt suits. I would be all over that and probably buy a handful of each, because Gundam Wing was like that first one for me. Fun question: if you're about to walk the Green Mile, what would your last dinner be? I don't know. There's a lot of things I like, and what I'm in the mood for changes from day to day. It would probably be a toss-up between lasagna or enchiladas. Would probably be my top two picks though. All right, next up, Dolfo. Do you display every kit you build or store older ones as you build new ones? I'm always curious what people's displays look like. So every kit that I consider finished is definitely on display. I have plenty of kits that are like halfway done. They've been snap built. Perhaps they haven't been painted, haven't been panel lined or decaled or whatever else I want to do to them. A lot of those kits are not technically displayed. They might be in boxes waiting for their turn, or still kind of displayed, sitting on like the back of my desk in a place where I can conspicuously see them staring at me, knowing that I'm not finishing them at the moment. But everything I've finished so far is currently displayed, either in my home display case or in one of the display cases here at the warehouse. Great question though, thank you. Next up, FPOW question: are there order minimums for manufacturers? If so, can you share an example if there are? So it depends on the manufacturer or the distributor. Often it's not the manufacturer itself. In our case, it's the distributor that's setting some sort of minimum. Most distributors set those minimums based on case sizes. So if you have a case of 12 kits, they want to sell you a case of 12 kits, or they want to sell you 2 cases of 12 kits. They don't want to sell you 1.5 cases or half a case or things like that. And it makes sense because it costs more to pack things that you have to actually pack, right? If you have a case, you can just slap a label on it, stack it on a pallet, ship it, you're good to go. It's not really a rule. Oftentimes the distributors that have the better pricing will often want the case quantities because they're trying to factor that in order to lower their costs and therefore be able to offer a lower price. It's not a hard and fast rule though. Different distributors get different pricing from the manufacturers based on their volume and things like that, so that also changes. But that's the biggest thing. A lot of distributors want case quantities. And so if there are minimums, that's usually where that's at. Next one, Massive Attack Station. Dylan, good luck, we'll miss you. Glad my last order was packaged by you. Also, Nick, did you get a new DSLR camera and lens? It's got the look that's hard to match. Ethan has been working the skills. Lighting is also getting much better. So I didn't actually. Ethan got a new camera and he's been trying it out and playing with the setting. He's got a light set up back here with some sort of gel or filter or something on it to get that blue effect. So that's totally an Ethan thing. He happened to have a new camera and wants to play with it, I guess, which I don't blame him. If you spend money on a camera, you want to use it. The warehouse hasn't invested in any new cameras in a while though. Maybe someday. All right, I think that's it for questions. So like I said, if you have a question you want answered, post it down in the comments below. I'd love to answer next week. Thank you for watching. See you next time.